From an American perspective, the recent Celtics' dominant victory over the New York Knicks underscores a significant divide between the two teams in the NBA landscape. In Stephen A. Smith's analysis, the disparity in quality is more than apparent, as the Celtics displayed their prowess in this 118-105 win, further solidifying their position as a championship-caliber team. This performance, led by Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, has sparked discussions about Boston's serious potential to go all the way in the 2025 playoffs. The Celtics' dominance begins with their balanced roster. As Smith points out, they boast the best starting five in the NBA, where each player excels both offensively and defensively. Tatum, with his 25-point contribution, showcased his versatility, continuing to prove why he's a key player for Boston. Jaylen Brown's 24 points further emphasized the depth and consistency that Boston brings. Their ability to consistently outpace teams like the Knicks and other top-tier opponents in the Eastern Conference, such as Cleveland, places them firmly in the driver's seat for the rest of the season. The Knicks, on the other hand, were left reeling. While the team has been competitive throughout the season, this game highlighted glaring weaknesses, particularly on the defensive end. Stephen A. expressed serious concerns about their inability to guard the three-point line, citing them as dead last in this category. This vulnerability is compounded by issues in their drop coverage, leaving them exposed against a team as offensively diverse as Boston. The Knicks' current 0-7 record against top teams like Boston, Cleveland, and the Thunder tells a bleak story of their ability to compete at the highest level. These 7 losses, by an average margin of 20 points per game, paint a picture of a team that, despite its potential, is struggling to make the leap from competitive to truly elite. Smith criticized New York's reliance on injured or underperforming players, noting Mitchell Robinson's inconsistent defense and Karl-Anthony Towns' adjustment challenges in playing power forward after his return. Additionally, New York's lack of depth compared to Boston is a significant disadvantage, especially when considering the grueling nature of a playoff series. Boston, by contrast, seems poised to continue its dominance. The Celtics are not only steamrolling teams in the regular season but are also gearing up for a deep playoff run. Kendrick Perkins emphasized this, claiming that no healthy team can knock off Boston in a 7-game series. The Celtics' balanced attack, combined with their ability to lock down defensively, makes them a nightmare matchup for any opponent. While the Knicks still have some star power, especially with players like Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns making strides, they pale in comparison to Boston's polished, well-rounded roster. The question for New York now becomes one of resilience and adaptation. Can they fix their defensive woes and find a way to match the intensity and consistency of teams like Boston and Cleveland? The road to the playoffs will be difficult, with Stephen A. pointing out that, as things stand, the Knicks would face a brutal path, needing to overcome Boston and Cleveland without home court advantage. The Celtics, meanwhile, are building momentum at the perfect time. Tatum's comments about locking in during the second half of the season indicate that Boston understands the stakes and is fully prepared to turn up the intensity as the playoffs approach. This is a team that has learned from past playoff failures and is now focused on maintaining good habits, staying healthy, and hitting their stride when it matters most. In conclusion, the Celtics' win over the Knicks is emblematic of where both teams stand. Boston is surging, full of confidence, and has their eyes set on a championship. New York, while competitive, has serious deficiencies to address if they want to compete with the elite teams in the league. From an American sports fan's perspective, the Celtics' clear superiority in this game only reinforces the notion that they are one of the NBA's premier contenders, while the Knicks still have a long way to go to close the gap.